East Carolina, starting about an hour and a half later, they're visiting NC State, a game pretty close to Lonte. Total right now is 61 and a half in this one, so a point shorter than Boise State in South Florida, but the spread is 14. So we're right on a key number here, maybe not as key as a 3 or a 7, but still in the college game, those key numbers can get a lot further extended based on the discrepancies between the teams. What do you think about NC State coming into here? I don't think we've mentioned them on much of our
Yeah,
podcast so far.
man, this is going to be an incredible game. Both of these teams hate each other. Both of these fan bases hate each other. A lot of recruiting battles for each player. Some of the guys that went to ECU, maybe didn't get the North Carolina State offer. Guys at NC State who, did get the ECU offer, but they chose to go to NC State. So a lot of rivalries. Fan bases don't like each other. They actually played each other in a military bowl, and they had a big brawl at the end. If you hear head coach Dave Doeren for NC State talk about how he hates ECU, and he wants to make sure that they pummel them, which is right in line with what I like. And I think we see a lot of points. Starting off, we didn't talk about either of these teams, so just a brief Cliff's Note version of it. I mean, Blake Harrell takes over for ECU. They finished 5-1, including that bowl win over NC State last year. He's recruiting at a high level, top 4 recruiting class in their conference. I'm going to bring back 6 starters. The quarterback is back. They bring back 4 on the offensive side, including the quarterback Caton House, who had over 2,000 yards, and he had a little bit of trouble with the interceptions, 18 and 11 touchdown interception ratio in 7 games, but he did go 5-2 in those games. Offensively, I'm worried about the skill positions. They lost their lead back and 3 of their top 5 receivers. So that's a bit concerning. And I know the defense is typically good for ECU, but they lose a lot of production. They lost 8 of their top 10 tacklers. They lose their top 8 in the secondary. Only 2 starters back. They got good size on the defensive line, but again, I don't know if they'll be able to uphold what the CJ Bailey and Jolly and Rogers and Hollywood Smothers are going to do. That's a dynamic duo for NC State, who's starting CJ Bailey. NC State is one of those teams where I wanted to bet this when it was a little bit lower. I mean, somebody bet it before we could get the show going. So it's up. I think it was 11 and a half or 12 and a half, and now it's up over 14 and a half. I would still lean that way simply because of the defense. I mean, I don't trust the defense for ECU, and I think the offense of NC State is going to be vastly improved with a full offseason of CJ Bailey with those skills positions. I know they lose KC Concepcion to Texas A&M, but Jolly, Rogers, and Smothers are a good trio. Bailey can use his legs. He's extremely accurate. I think he was top 15 in adjusted completion percentage. Offensive line has to be a lot better. They were 129th in havoc allowed, 116th in stuff rate allowed. They had a lot of turnover issues. A lot of those came early on in the season when Bailey wasn't starting. But again, NC State is they're historically good program in between 8 to 10 wins. They were 6-7 last year, their first losing season since 2019, and a lot of that had to do with the defense. Now they get a new play caller, DJ Elliott. He's going to have some 3-3-5 principles, which is typically what NC State runs on defense. But he's going to employ more 3-4 looks, which is 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers. They allow the most total points in a season since 1996 for them. So defense obviously was the issue. They do lose a lot, but we talked about it, addition by subtraction could be the case here. The defensive line and secondary are big concerns. Now, can ECU exploit that? I don't really think they can exploit it to a big degree, but I do believe that both teams will have success offensively because of the questions on defense, specifically in the secondary. So I'm looking at an over 61 and a half. I think that's a good number. I think both teams can come out and score. And keep in mind, this is a heated rivalry. Dave Doeren does not like ECU. He will try his best to score as many points as he can. I don't think he'll take his foot off the gas if it's a blowout, so you don't have to worry about that. I think they're looking to put up 50, 60 if they can. So I like the over. Maybe NC State can get halfway home by themselves.
Yeah, 61 and a half was the no kneel downs late would be interesting, though I think eventually you might want to. Also, Hollywood Smothers definitely on the all name team, I think,
Yeah,
across
for sure. For
college
sure.
football, even though he did spend some time at the University of Oklahoma. Not my favorite. We'll move to Friday.